Hello, this is George Senda, the real, official, authentic, original, the one, the only, the official, the guy from Pittsburgh. And I'm going to unbox or unroll or something, roll of quarters. But first, I want to mention a truly despicable thing that the online trolls did. He posted our ad for a car to try to sell a car, and Kathy has not done anything to anyone on or off the internet to warrant the despicable act that's been done to her. I gave her phone number in the Craigslist ad, and someone calling himself Adam Stinson, who is really Art Bell Fan 4, who is from Sewer Gab, published not only her phone number, but her home address, her cell phone number, and her former telephone on the sister site of Sewer Gab, LGab, or Smell Gab as I call it. This is out and out harassment, identity theft, and I have not received a single email that has been legitimate. I've been insulted, called stupid, say you're not going to get $800, even from Art Bell Fan 4. Adam Stinson is blocked. Art Bell Fan 4, I will not reply to anymore. He is a troll. He's a major troll, and you can imagine using the A word. We're trying to sell our car to get a better car, and my girlfriend has nothing to do with Belgab or Elgab or anything, and to do this despicable. Now, it's beyond despicable. It's criminal, because using the wires to harass is a violation of federal law. And the police here, people have asked me, will I ever go if I have the money? Yes, I will, but it will cost me about $8,000. I will sue them in federal court and sue the owner of Belgab. MV, I know his real name, I know his real address. He owns a computer store in Missouri. Missouri has very strong cyber stalking laws. I've talked to the police, and they said if you can get your police to file a complaint, we will go and arrest MV for a pattern of cyber stalking, identity theft, and more. But the police here don't know how to deal with internet crime. So I will go and contact tomorrow the police where Kathy lives, and we'll have to contact her internet provider to try to see if we can get another phone number that can't be hacked and published on SmellGab. So I'm asking my subscribers and viewers to donate to this channel to help protect Kathy and me from this. There's no excuse for this. They've been calling her at 3 in the morning, waking her up, calling up and hanging up. She's had to put her message machine on. I can't even get through to her. They're harassing a woman who has nothing to do with the internet, and she told me she's terrified, and she'd love to start her own channel, but she's terrified of the potential harassment. So, well, that's what I was told. So I don't know who, but it was sent to this Adam Stinson, and it was published. I did not send it to Art Bell Fan 4. So, and I did not send it to anyone. I sent it to 2 other people on my list, Jeremy and Justin. I don't think they'd do it. So it has to be Adam Stinson. If he didn't post it, then he forwarded it to somebody, and Art Bell Fan 4 or one of the trolls published it. So, you're out of here. Goodbye. 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 You're deleted for life. Don't even bother writing me an email. I sent you that ad. Don't give me this garbage. You didn't publish it. If you didn't publish it, then you forwarded it to someone who published it. I've seen the picture of the post on SmellGab. Kathy's address, which I tried to protect for all these years so no one would ever harass her. And Kathy's home phone number, Kathy's cell phone number, which may or may not work. She forgot to use the phone, and they cut it off. You don't make a phone call once a month. Kathy's former phone number and Kathy's current phone number. So I don't want to hear it. You were sent that. It got forwarded to a troll who published it. Now, you don't like that, as my dad said, you can stick it in your pipe and smoke it. So don't lie to me. Don't come in here and have a call. I didn't do anything. Don't come in here and have a call. I didn't do anything. My sweet Kathy, my girlfriend of 42 years, has done nothing to anyone online and does not deserve this kind of attack. So, goodbye, Adam Stimson. Enjoy your other identity as Art Bell Fan 4. All right. I got coffee grounds in the floor. I haven't done anything all weekend because since Friday night, this is the first time where the winds have died down. It has been absolutely freezing here day and night with heavy high winds. So all I've done is sleeping. All right, now we got here. It's only one roll of quarters. It's all I can afford for my laundry money. Tomorrow I go up to Kathy's. Her birthday present is here. So you'll see that. We'll do a live video. Then we go down and vacuum out the car. I'm going to repost the ad or change things on the ad and activate my other cell phone. And then, or whatever. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to figure out something. I may just have to take the ad down and repost it in another form or something on another forum. And I'm not going to tell anybody when I redo it, where it is. Nobody online. Okay, here's the first quarters. No silver there. And I have a Bergen boxing or two to show you. Nothing there. But I don't care who the hell you are. No one deserves this kind of treatment from people who have never met Kathy, who only see her in the occasional videos she does, who don't know me. This is senior abuse. She's turning 64. She's a senior. I'm a senior. I'm 68. This is despicable. And I will also see if I can have anything the federal authorities to do about this, because there's got to be some law against publishing people's personal information online. She does not post on any social media at all, just on the videos of me. And I may not have, after Monday's video, may not have her on any video in the future. All right, I got these 3.5-inch disc for my Apple IIgs. And back in the day, 30 years ago, this is what you used to save data or data. And then you had labels. And you'd write whatever was on the disc. And the same goes for 5.25-inch discs. They're getting harder and harder to find. And so this is for my GS, and I will be getting 5.25-inch disc when I have the money and find them. And someone sent me this today, thank you, although I was it, and I said, hey, you know, $200 to fly to Phoenix each. Then we have to rent a car. And then we have to go down to East Nowhere, Arizona, and try to find the Grand Canyon. I wonder if it'll still be there when we get there. Anyway, this is Fodor's Arizona and the Grand Canyon guidebook. Kathy went to the Grand Canyon, and I looked at the map of Arizona, and I'm going like, I'm thinking it's down south. I had no idea where the Grand Canyon was. It's up north, which I didn't know. Now we could rent a car in Vegas and drive there, and that's probably how we'll go. But oh, that's St. George, Utah. It's really closer to Utah than it is to Nevada. St. George is right across from it, so that's a long. That's you go Reno, or I don't know how you go. You go from Vegas. I went once with the family to St. George from Las Vegas, hours, and never ever. It's north of Flagstaff and Kingman, which I've been to, and it's west of the exciting Cow Springs. So this is all the books and the information, the map. So I don't give stuff to Kathy because I never get it back. So it'll be interesting to look through this, but I'll have to get her one. So thank you for this. And it's nuts now after freezing for the last 2 days. Now it's hot in here. And I may have to show the other item. This is for my computer. The disc I had, the Write Protect tabs came off, and you have to have the Write Protect tabs off the game. And I've been unsuccessful downloading Apple II games with an emulator because I can't get it to work. So Kathy's t-shirt is here, and I've ordered my cat food for the outdoor kitties. And the dry food for the month, so I'm good. All right, this is a game that I loved. Now, there are no Write Protect tabs that come with this, and I told them it needs a Write Protect tab, and I don't know if I can find a Write Protect tab, so I may have to get tape. This is Starfleet 1, The War Begins. It's basically Star Trek, but a little more complicated, and one of my favorite games, so I will have to find some Write Protect tabs. If you don't Write Protect tab the disc gets erased, which was its copy protection, and it was, at the time it was really stupid. So, and let's see, did I get anything else? He sure protected the hell out of this. I might keep this for something else. Just end of the month, beginning of the month, I will send stuff to Zoa and Lucky Ferals. Nope, this is gone, so I can fill that out. Big bag of recycling to take down. Somewhere tonight I'm going to do some wash. And so I haven't done anything the last 2 days. Because all I've been doing is sleeping. Yeah, and by the way, I want to welcome Lisa of Sheba, Muffy, and etc. She is now the new moderator of this channel. Cats are fine. Last night, the giant possum was out in the wind, howling winds here, and I'm going through dry cat food outside like crazy, and I was leaving it out at night. Now I can't. It's eating all the cat food. And you hear and I go possum, get out of here. And it took 3 tries to get out of here. So now I don't leave cat food at night out because the possum is eating it all. And the possum is really big. It's like this big. So all right, I don't know what that's about. It looks like a troll post. And so I'm not going to allow that. I really don't want to hear about you're killing your cat or dog. So please don't come in here and bring that kind of stuff up. All right, when I'm already upset, and I don't know. Oh, you're using a picture of Kathy as your illustration. That's not allowed either. So that person's blocked. Enough. No more, and you still continue. Or don't you listen? I don't want to hear about animals being killed. I want to hear about happy, well animals like Sheba and Muffy. Poor Sheba has pancreatitis again. So I want Sheba to be well. Here's the little girl. Hello, little girl. Little sweet girl. She's on the bed. But to harass somebody, I got an offer of the car of $1,200, $500. Okay. And they always gloat how gullible I am. No, it's the fact that they are evil people without a conscience, without morals, without decency. That's the problem, not whether I'm gullible or not. 200 people blocked on my channel because they are all people who are they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, whatever you want to call it. They're evil people, not deserving of the normal consideration you have for decent, caring, kind people. No, we haven't sold the car yet. I've gotten one well, it wasn't a legitimate offer because a person, Art Bell fan, left me a thing, you won't get $800. Another message from the same language. That's why I know it's the same person. And insulting my intelligence by saying I'm stupid and other things. And they offered $800. Hell, I was wrong in the prices, and I haven't had the time to go into the ad. But the engine, if you remanufacture it or trade it in and get a remanufactured engine, the navigation system, the transmission, the air conditioning system is not worth as much as I thought. That's the only one I was really way off on. And the small battery is $250. So let's start like where the price is right, higher or lower. $250 for the battery that starts the car. The navigation system, I saw prices ranging from $400 to $800 on eBay. A transmission starts at about $600. So we're up to $1,250 with those three parts right there. You add the air conditioning in. Let's say the air conditioning, they have the compressor, but you have the whole unit. And so I'll be sharing it myself or drop it down to, let's say it's $1,600 at this point, and you get the rest of the car. It's got wheels, it's got tires, it's got brakes, it's got a body, it's got headlights and taillights, and the air conditioning works, the radio works. When you go to the dealer and you can order a Prius without the navigation system, but they charge you $800 to put the navigation system in. You can't get a Prius without air conditioning. They charge you $1,000, the normal dealer price for air conditioning. I talked to Honda. They said, we don't sell cars without air conditioning anymore, but if we were to charge for air conditioning, it'd be $1,000. Well, hi, Diane. Welcome. Yeah, we need money to help with our Prius. People should be donating to this channel to help us get another car. We have to have $1,000 with this program. They give us $5,000 as a grant. We take it to a list of 150 dealers. We'll have to rent a car, get Patty to drive us. I'll have to do a lot of research on the internet and a lot of calling. But first, we got to sell the car. And we already dumped the repair last year. The valves and the spark plugs was $300. The repair to the head gasket was $750. The catalytic converter was stolen was $200, so that's $950, $1,250, and the battery $250. We're talking $1,500. We already dumped $1,500 in this car. Now I could go get a refurbished battery on eBay, low end at $600, But then I'd have somebody help me with a drill and take all the bolts, nuts, screws out, pull the battery, unplug it. I know you're electrical. You can't die from that because it's got power in it. Take the damn thing out, put it back in, put the new one in, and you'd have a new battery. But then you still have the problem with the engine. So this is a big special. If someone knows how to rebuild an engine, you rebuild an engine, you stack a new battery in there. And the only other thing wrong with the car is the headlight. One headlight needs to be replaced. And the plastic lenses oxidize over time in all these Priuses. And you have to, Chris Fix has a video where you take sandpaper and water, different grades of sandpaper, and you file the thing down, you run water over it, you file it, you dry it off, you file it down again, and eventually the plastic lenses get clear. You can replace those, but they're ungodly expensive, and I don't know how to. I can't even pull the headlight out. I've tried. I can't get in there with my hands. So, yeah, I'm on Twitter. The guy from Pittsburgh is on Twitter. I think I'd have to look. No, because when we had to repair the head gasket, it was smoking, and I think also Patty says where the exhaust pipe is for the muffler, white smoke is the mechanic told Kathy you run it for 30 miles, the white smoke will stop. But we think that there's a hole in the muffler pipe because to take catalytic converter off, you have to cut it off the muffler. And we think they cut a hole in the muffler pipe, and that's where the white smoke is coming out of the back of the car. And the other thing, the car is having trouble because of the battery problem accelerating. It's going from 35 miles an hour down to about 16, down to about 11. So we need to get rid of it. But to come in here and, I pranked you, you're gullible is ridiculous. I mean, publish someone's home address and a woman to boot who's vulnerable. I've told Kathy, if we do sell this car, and I'll find other places that I can sell it as an as-is car, no refunds. There's all kinds of auto sale places I can put it on. I don't have to use Craigslist, and I won't tell anybody. And I'll take new pictures of the car and move it to another location to take the pictures. I said, after we get you another car, you're going to buy a gun because she has had people harass her. So if someone from the evil sites shows up physically, and I wouldn't put it past them, they try to get into our apartment, I said, shoot them. They might be there to rape you or hurt you. I'm not going to have you get hurt. This is another reason why I want her to move from there. And if she does move, no one will know her location. And they were able to find her phone number, her other numbers, through voice over internet protocol. And I sort of understand it, but I don't know if you can block it or not. First of all, I'm going to not allow that comment either because the Secret Service put President Trump in. It would never make it to the beach. We barely made it to the car wash because it won't accelerate. We had to drive to Safeway to get her batteries, and she wanted key lime. She wanted not key lime place. She wanted lemon meringue pie. They didn't have it. Her battery remote, and Patty and I had to drive back up to her house. I left my phone in the glove compartment, and the remote for the TV was in the glove compartment. So I gave Kathy bought her AA batteries for the one remote and gave her some AAA for the other. I don't know any chop shop people. By the way, I thought I blocked you, Graper. So, goodbye. The car has to, it's pointless to have the car small if it doesn't run right. you can do a non-operation and sell it as a parts vehicle, and that's what we're going to do. So the problem with this, we had a previous Prius that Kathy backed out of a parking space and hit a truck and put a dent about that big. A week later, the guy claimed he had a neck injury, major damage to his truck, which was all total garbage. The quarter panel got popped open. I tried to close it with my fist, which was working, and the State Farm agent, oh no, don't do that, water going to do it, and fried the wiring system. We had paid $7,500 for that car a short time before, maybe 4 months, around the time my mother died. We got $750 for that car. A dealer is not going to pay us what we need. We need $3,000 at a minimum because we have to add it to the grant, and then we have to give that grant $1,000. They want $1,000 deposit to get $5,000. I guess they want to make sure people aren't going to run off the grant money or pull some kind of scam with some car salesman or something. I don't know. So we would have 6. If we have 3,000, we'd have 8, and we should be able to. But their requirement is to get a 2012 Prius or electric car, and there's no way for her to get an electric car because the car parking space is way away from her apartment. So no, because there is an alternate. Carfax wants $40, and there are free things that you can check the history of the car, and I'm going to use those. And someone who may have been legitimate used this, but he has not replied to me. So every response so far has been a troll response. And by the way, I ordered my Meow Mix. This is what I got left for the kitties till whenever I got 1 can of Friskies till my Amazon order comes in. So, oh, there's 1 orangey salmon. So, I won't take $750 for the car. As a parts car, it's worth $1,500 to $1,600. I'm going to go redo the ad and put the actual cost of what these parts. If you tore the car apart, pull the engine, pull the transmission, pull the air conditioning system, battery out. I know what the batteries run. This is our 7th Prius. 3 of which were destroyed by accident. The 1 car we bought, the guy, oh, I drive it to Tracy every day, and it has an intermittent starting problem. We bought the car. It wouldn't start at Safeway on New Year's Day at midnight. It wouldn't start at the gas station. So the next day we brought it back and got our money back, and the guy was a total jerk. He made us walk to the bus stop, which was blocks and blocks away, and then we had to walk from the bus to Amtrak to go home. We got our money back, and when we saw him, he said that, oh no, there's nothing wrong with this car. And then amazingly, he sold it to some other sucker the next day. The car was on Craigslist for 1 day, and he sold it for the $25 we paid him, so he didn't lose any money, but he was a complete jerk. No, because I don't have any way to take the parts out. This is a parts car. Somebody with a mechanic with, all the power tools in the world can pull the parts out of this car and they can sell it. And if you know how to do valves, I don't know about reconditioning an engine, what's involved in that. It probably needs either a new engine, a reconditioned engine, or you take the engine and fix it. It's like Dr. McCoy. I'm a doctor, not a mechanic. I do computers. I don't do cars. I know everything in the Prius. I know everything about the Cadillac I used to have, and every car I know technically. I had all the auto books and all that, and it was fascinating to read. But can I work on a car? I can put oil in it. And if I had jack stands and weren't so fat, I might be able to crawl under the car and change the oil. I might be able to crawl under the car and change the transmission fluid. And Chris Fix has a great video on that on YouTube, how to change all the fluids in your car. But I don't have the tools, the hand strength. So she is. But we have it parked in a way that they can't get under the car. So they're not going to be able to crawl under the car. And the mechanic that did the work on the head gasket put strengtheners to make it even harder to remove. So the car will not run right as a car. It's going to have to be towed, whoever buys it. But these people are doing their best to make sure we can't sell our car, which is an evil, evil act. Well, I don't see anybody chatting. I guess I should leave. Since nobody's talking, and I don't like talking to the screen when no one's saying anything. No, it's not dirt. Has nothing to do with dirt. I didn't say you weren't allowed to chat. Don't be ridiculous, Spoover. You're not blocked from chatting. No, it's got an air leak in the tires. It is one or two of the tires. And then Patty with her obsession. Oh, go put air in the tires. I have an air compressor. And she told me, oh, the mechanic last week used it to do something with it. And she drained the power on the damn thing. I said, plug the damn thing in. And she didn't do it. Then she starts arguing with me. So I tried putting air at Arco at the AM PM, and it would not accept any air. It would go to 20, and that was it. You're supposed to be about 30, maybe 40 pounds per square inch on each tire. So it's got a slow leak. Each of those tires, if it sat for another 8 months, would be flat. You wouldn't be able to get under the car at all. And it is not roadhead. I don't even know what roadhead is. So Christopher, stop. We were told, but Kathy was told by a mechanic, one of the problems with not living together, not living close to each other, and I told her 15 years ago, there's a chance for you to move to Martinez. I want you to move here so we're nearby. You're not driving all the time to go see. And we're seeing each other more often. I can't look at the car. I can't be there to help her, and I have to take the bus. So, but she was told the mechanic that you were supposed to disconnect the small battery to keep the main battery from being drained. The main battery, we have the triangle of death. That means there's something wrong with the main battery. It has nothing to do with the engine. No. We can't. Kathy and I have lived together 6 times. And look, even under normal circumstances when there's no drama going on, I'll say something that will make her mad. She'll say her favorite word and hang up on me. So that's not going to happen. And I'm not going to say what the favorite word is because I can't. Tropical storm Cristobal makes landfall in Louisiana. Big storm. Let me see if I can get a hold of her. But she has to put her message machine on. All right, I'm live, so watch your language. How's it going?
Well, one of my neighbors gave me a ride to the store and back. So that was nice.
Oh,
I've never been before.
That was nice of him.
Her.
Her? What store? No, what? Don't mention her name. What store?
Oh, what Winco?
What's a win? Maroney used to go to that in San Francisco.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing is, it has to be either cash or debit. They don't take credit cards, so.
Oh, hold on a minute. What pikeman? What are you talking about? She's not playing a pikeman. She's playing Pokemon. The Mac stopped working and she has no cable, so it's the only thing that keeps her from going insane. All right, anyway. So what did you get in the store?
Well, I found a lemon lime pie,
Oh, good, good.
and I needed milk, and I need half and half, and I'm making a special chicken dish called Saturday chicken, and on the oil is you sprinkle garlic salt, paprika, and you take a can of soup like cream of chicken, and you mix it with a cup of cream, and you pour it over the chicken, and it's really yummy. Oh, and you put parsley on it too.
Oh, by the way, I uh, it's been freezing cold here for 3 days, and so mostly I've been doing is sleeping. Really super windy too. By the way, um, somebody asked, what Pokemon do you play? Hello, Jack.
Well, right now I'm playing Ultra Sun and Moon, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to buy the new game.
No, no, no. They want to know what your favorite Pokemon on the game is, not what game you're playing.
Oh, he's a black cat. Starts out as a kitten. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name, but he's black and red, and he's really strong, and he's really cool, and those Pokemon would recognize him. I could look him up, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And my favorite Pokemon of all time is, of course, let's see, Mew, and then Blastos. Joey, I love Blastos. So cool.
And you like Venusaur and Bulbasaur too.
I like Bulbasaur.
Kathy does not like Charizard. That's my favorite.
No. No. That's. Well, he was so mean to Ash. He was terrible.
But it was funny.
Ash should be, he should either be burnt up or have a really dark tan. I can't even imagine.
Remember, this is cartoon physics. It doesn't work that way. Cartoon physics have nothing to do with real life physics. You can be burned alive in a cartoon and come back the next day and you're fine.
Oh, boy, I could do that to my back and neck.
Well, anyway, other than troll calls, have you gotten any calls in the car?
No.
Well, we're gonna go. We're gonna talk to your internet provider. Change your phone. See if we can protect you, and then we're gonna work on. I'll talk to you about this privately. So, remember, I watched a movie. I watched Spencer for Hire, and this cat. There was a car. This guy gets killed, and they're running a Warner Bros. Cartoon, and the cat gets turned into an iron.
What?
Well, it's some kind of cartoon where the dog is chasing the cat, and the dog does something, and the cat turns into a shape of an iron. He's all flat like a piece of paper. That's cartoon physics. You wouldn't survive that in the real world, you know.
Well, the what was it, Crypto?
Yeah.
Dog. And, and the dog had superpowers. It was great watching them together. And then when Superman became an adult, he's no more.
No, he's been in a comic, a thing called Atlas hurt Superman. I still have the comic. It's a little beat up. And Krypto goes, "You hurt man." And Krypto went and kicked Atlas's ass. Krypto was not happy. But the problem is they keep screwing with the mythos. They keep changing the story of Superman. They won't leave it alone. That we have now about 9 million different Earths. They've killed people on different Earths. They've killed heroes in different Earths. Some Earths have a communist Superman, a Nazi Superman, no superheroes at all like us.
Geez.
And you need a scorecard.
Yeah,
So,
but Supergirl, she had Streaky, and that would be so cute. Have a super cat playing around with you,
I don't want a cat chasing a bird to suddenly scrape my head or something, or what if the cat has to go to the bathroom, or the dog, that would be a real problem. Ew. Damn you, Krypto! Here comes Krypto or Streaky the super cat, and all of a sudden it go to the bathroom, and it doesn't feel like landing on the ground, so it drops the load. No.
God.
And then if you have a superpowered dog or cat, does it have superpowered fleas?
I don't know. You're super. I don't think fleas can touch you. Oh, come over here, Cleo. Time with the mom.
Yeah, silly Cleo.
Oh, stop it.
There goes Cleo. Don't pet me. Don't hug me. Don't kiss me.
Listen, you. You're from this earth so I can kiss you and hug you. Quit. I don't appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, hold on. I have to address something. Hold on, Kathy. Kathy, hold on. I was told I participate in your chat. I'm racist. You told everyone that George Floyd was trying to spread coronavirus to cops. I speculated that might have been his reason or one of his reasons for getting into an altercation with the police. I didn't say he was trying to, because the man is dead. Who can know his motivations? So you're not a racist, and that's being an idiot. But he was exposed and tested, and he did have the coronavirus. Now, he may have been asymptomatic, but he had it. And he was, on the time he died, he had at least phenidine and something else in his system. I think there was a name, or it's close to it. He had 2 drugs he was taking. They were illegal drugs. He had an arrest record. And they were all saying, he's a nice guy. He would never do anything. And all these guys, from Trayvon Martin to the guy in Ferguson, Missouri, to him, a lot of these guys, he's so nice. Remember, they said that about Lee Harvey Oswald, too. And I don't believe he killed Kennedy, because the evidence is so overwhelming that the shooters came from various areas, including the grassy knoll. But they're always a nice guy, a quiet guy, and that's when you get these guys that walk into a factory and they killed 15 people. So I'm fine. Just very angry that people publish Kathy's personal information, and I'm going to do what I can to see if we can do something about it. So anyway, go ahead, Kathy.
I really appreciate your taking me and bringing me back, but unfortunately, the way she drove, I almost got sick.
Oh, God.
Well, she makes Patty look slow.
Yeah, well, Patty Grin's kind of wild. I have a picture, which I will not publish, of Kathy flying end over end in the back of the van when Patty made a wide turn and Kathy went flying. So, Lisa says hello, Kathy, of Sheba and Muffy, the wonderful Sheba and Muffy cats. Everybody should watch the Sheba and Muffy and Acceptor channel and subscribe to it. They're very cute cats and very silly. Okay, first of all, the Black Lives Matter movement has been co-opted by the left, the ultra-left, and Antifa, and I consider it in part a terrorist organization. Everyone's lives matters, not just blacks, including the police, whom they have shot and killed over the last few weeks. So, but Black Lives Matter protesters wound up becoming looters in Ferguson, in Moore, and all over the country. So I have nothing but disgust for those who use the Black Lives Matter term and are actually criminals, or what I would consider to be terrorists. If I were President Trump, I would name the entire movement as a terrorist organization. So, and Mitch McConnell lives matter. Mitch McConnell needs to be voted out. We're not going to have a stimulus check as long as that guy and similar Republicans to him are in the Senate, because they don't want. I watched a video today by Meet Kevin where they're running down all this stuff, and it's payroll deductions, it's tax breaks for businesses and entertainment and stadiums, but not one dime for the people. So,
and considering they've got basically nothing to worry about financially.
And there's another thing. When you say, I want people on my race to be treated as equals, I'm not harassing anyone of any color. I'm a poor man, and Kathy's a poor woman, and we're just trying to survive the one day when we shuffle off the mortal coil like everybody else, although I'm going to do my damnedest not to go. So, I've been dead twice and electrocuted once, and I came back. So if they come for me again, go get Putin, go get the nut North, go get that Saddam guy in Syria, get some bad person, go get the guy running Venezuela. They need to go away. They're bad people. Go get the owner of Sewergab, evil people. So, and don't get my sweet Kathy, because she doesn't deserve to go. She should live for a long time. No extra checks. No, they're not going to. They're going to extend the benefits to maybe $400, but the individuals that still need help. They even said in a report that some people were listed as employed, but it's an error in the thing, and they're not really employed, and that would have jacked the unemployment rate to 17%. The Republicans are tight-fisted. They're worried about future generations, and yet people out there are starving. When the eviction limitation is over, people will be evicted and out of the streets and die of exposure, because we're getting summertime soon. And they act like it's their money when it's really the American people's money, because they paid into their taxes, and the first stimulus was just a return of the taxes you've already paid. So it's disgusting. George Floyd shouldn't have been killed, but the problem is, what do? I saw people arrested, and immediately they dive to the and almost dare the police to sit on them or whatever, and they resist. So there's an active movement. People protest, or they loot, or they riot, and then they slump to the ground, defying the police. And, if you're protesting peacefully, I have no problem with it. Now, that doesn't mean that police department not be reformed. That doesn't mean things like chokeholds and other stuff don't need to be changed. They do. Now, I want to give you a story that I actually saw one day. Way back in the 70s, I was walking by the side of the San Francisco Library, and these two bums, winos, whatever you were doing, they were drinking some Thunderbird or something like that, Mad Dog 2020, cheap wine. They get out of the bottom of the vat or something. It's like, back then it was 39 cents a bottle. And the one says, let me have some of your wine. He says, okay. And this guy comes up, and he was huge. It was like the Hulk. He was gigantic. And he wasn't fat. It was all muscle. But he was like 6'4", but he was this wide. He looked like the Hulk. And there was an empty bottle sitting there, and now this is very graphic. He asked for some wine, and it's our wine. We took the bottle, broke it in the step, and shoved it in the guy's eye.
Oh, wait a minute. Who did this shit?
Kathy, watch your language. Watch your language. I told you watch your language. Don't swear. So, I went in and called the police. The police came in cars and vans, and this guy, 15 cops tried to get this guy down. Now imagine somebody who's like 300 pounds, but all muscle, like a football player. He was throwing them off of him and propelling 10 to 15 feet away, and I got later told that the guy was on angel dust. And they finally subdued him by all 15 of them, got him to the ground, and sat on him. And then they got the cuffs on him, and he was still fighting them. They had to put, and this is before they had these plastic things where they put it on your feet and your hands. They managed to get him to a van, and he was, there's a character in Marvel, the Ox or something. I don't remember what his name, and he was just bashing the sides of the van, even though he was completely subdued. And I don't know how they got him into jail, and that guy lost his eye. I went to court and testified. That's back in the 70s. So I saw this, and this guy was an American Indian. He was not black. He was not Asian. And I don't know what happened to him. Sentenced him to prison, but the poor guy lost his eye. And this guy was just, a street person, a homeless guy. But I literally saw that in front of me, and it took 15 cops to bring one guy down. We have a lot of crazy people and people who have been on speed and on other drugs, and they get superhuman strength, and they're insane. So anyway,
who shoved a bottle into someone's eye?
This guy asked these two bums for drinking their wine, and when he said no, he broke the bottle on the steps of the old public library, which is now the Asian Art Museum, and he shoved the broken bottle in the guy's eyeball.
Oh.
And the eyeball came out. It was hanging from the optic.
Okay. That's enough.
Well, you asked. No, they don't need reparations for George Floyd. So, I'm removed. No. Every time something happens, some black guy asks for reparations. No one in this country, other than those 4 policemen, did a damn thing to George Floyd. And yet, innocent businessmen and women, a black lady lost her house. So, goodbye, Black Lives Matter. No one in Minneapolis, no one in St. Paul, no one anywhere did anything to George Floyd. 4 cops. I didn't do anything. Kathy didn't do anything. No one on this channel did anything. No one on YouTube did anything. Kathy, I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you later. So don't give me that garbage that you want reparations for the death of one man. All the stimulus money should go to reparations to the 25 million black people in this country. They're still going to talk occasionally on reparations for slavery. No one who was a slave is alive today. No one who owned slaves is alive today. And everyone in America, South and North, who didn't own slaves is not alive today either. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. So, they didn't pull him over. He went into a Chinese restaurant and tried to pass a $20 bill. And the owner has said if he had to do it over again, he wouldn't have called the police. And we don't know if George Floyd did that deliberately. I'm going to do this so the police come, and I'm going to screw with the police. I don't know his motivations. But he had an arrest record, and they always say that blacks get discriminated against in the justice system. Well, you have a guy with an arrest record. He's repeatedly arrested for burglary, for auto theft, for other crimes and they've been sentenced to jail or they've been charged with 15, 16, 20 crimes and they get off, they get probation or whatever, the police are going to be looking in those areas for the people most likely to commit crimes, and it's usually minorities. No, a $20 fake bill is a federal crime. It's called counterfeiting. You may have heard of it. Passing a fake bill is a federal offense. By the way, to whoever sent me these cheesy Post-it notes from China, please don't. They immediately fell apart the first time I used them. I got Post-it note. They're Post-it note knockoffs, and they're terrible. You could write on them, but they fell apart. So, you know, every time there's one of these incidents, Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, Rodney King, oh, we need reparations. We need compensation for how blacks have been treated in this country. Back in the 70s, I was up for a job with the VA as a clerk typist. And I got told confidentially, why didn't get the job? They had to give preference to a guy. So it's reverse discrimination. I did nothing to blacks. I didn't own any slaves. But I had to pay the penalty because blacks in perpetuity in this country get preferential treatment in federal hiring. I don't know if we're going to do that for the next 500 years. You know, there needs to be a stop to that because it's unfair to other people. And we had the same test scores, and they had no veterans preference, and neither did I, but I lost on the federal job. And that's all. I still have my test results. Got 100% of the test, but I got told off the record that we have to give it to the black guy. And that's not a racist comment, that's the truth. It's not fair. No, I'm not complaining. I made a statement of fact. This fell apart. They're not very good. I was glad to get them. I'm using them. But they're not the real thing. And I will tell Kathy about this, whoever sent it. It's very interesting. I've never seen some of this stuff in here. What is this? Lake Powell, houseboats. We don't have the kind of money to go do that sort of thing. But the book is fascinating. I've never seen parts of Arizona except on a map. And here's a picture of the Grand Canyon. So I thank whoever sent this. I'm happy to get this book. It's just a matter of, can we afford to go? And then what do I do about the kitties? That's going to be, we'd be gone for up to a week. The cats would starve. Who's going to feed the kitties? I don't know. Contra Costa County has removed the restrictions on swimming. They've removed the restrictions on eating at restaurants at a table. So if they're doing that, I think there'll be some kind of Halloween thing, but the question is, will they allow groups to show up and stuff? I don't know. It'll be sad. We can't take them with us. Yeah, I'm going to carry 6 cats in a carrier on the airline. I don't think so, because the airlines have been known to kill dogs and cats for bad handling. I don't trust a cat or dog in an airline unless I get a seat. What is this now? Oh, some football thing for the Seahawks. Yeah, well, we don't have a vaccine yet. And I don't know if they're going to open up malls, because how are you going to... I've been to Safeway. I've been to Food Max. I've been to Costco. I'm riding around the electric wheelchair, and there's still people in front of me. And another thing that drives me crazy, even when I'm pushing a shopping cart, they stop in front of you. And it's like all knowledge leaves their brain And I have to go all the time, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I feel like an idiot going, excuse me, like a parrot. I'd like to get by. And they look at you like, duh, you want to get by? Oh, I didn't know that. I'll just stand here for another 2 or 3 minutes and drive you crazy. It drives me nuts. I'm in a wheelchair, and they'll stand and look at. Oh, I don't have a. Let's say this is on the shelf. They stand and look at the item, and go into catatonia. They don't move. They don't do anything. They're staring at the thing, and for 2, 3, 4 minutes, they zone out. And you have to go, excuse me, 3 or 4 times before they move. I can't get by them. I can't back up. There's some other guy coming behind me to shopping cart. But none of them are 6 feet away. They're opening swimming pools here, but they're going to allow a limited amount of people, and they're going to ensure social distancing. And I don't, frankly, think that's going to work very well. So now maybe we can teach Orangey the cat to drive the car. Rent the car, and then what are we going to tell Enterprise? We're sorry we got fleas over your car and cat hair. But the cats just insisted they were going to keep shedding. We treated them for fleas, but I saw one product advertised this morning on a video or something. Kills fleas within 30 minutes. What's it doing the other 29 minutes? Just sitting there doing nothing. And then it kills fleas for up to 6 months. Some new flea product I never heard of. It broke me up. Kills fleas within 30 minutes. What are the fleas doing the rest of the time? Thank you. I think. I've had girls call me teddy bear, but that's another story. By the way, I don't see no donations on the channel. I would appreciate a super chat or a PayPal donation to help us get a better car. And when you don't donate, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because if we get another car, I get the ODN device, which will not only tell us what's wrong with the new car, if anything, but it will also give me Wi-Fi in the car. So you would see live Kathy and George videos on the road, anywhere we go. But all of that, yes, disabled people do matter. Everybody matters. But most people are selfish. Most people don't care about other people other than their immediate family or friends, because they are self-centered. And I'm not criticizing anybody on here, but you talk to someone, hi, how you're doing, and then you never see them again. And they don't call you. I've gotten people's phone numbers. I've called them up. I never got a return call. Dozens of people. So, no, they were zoning out before the coronavirus. I've been going to Safeway here for 15 years, and, you go down the electric wheelchair, or when they don't have one, someone else is using it. And at Walmart, it's worse. Some kids are riding around. That's stopped now, thank God. Kids would ride, 7-year-old kids riding around an electric wheelchair. And I walk up to them and I said, frankly, hey, that's for disabled people. Get out. I need to use it. And they look at you like you're nuts. I walk up in my cane when one isn't broken or missing the tip. And there's time walking around and loading all my shopping cart up. I'm in pain. My knee starts going out if I walk too much. I'm going like, this is not a joyriding thing with the wheelchair. This is just dying for the disabled. Well, Get Kevin made a point that poverty, not only in the black community, but everybody, is part of what accelerates this. If you're poor, you feel like you're hopeless. And I tend to agree with it to a certain extent. When you have no money and you're protesting, and suddenly, like a little switch, well, I can get some stuff, man, and I could sell it, or I could bring it home, or whatever. So let's break that window and let's steal something. And I don't know if people are inclined or have the word isn't coming out right, a proclivity to loot, or if it's a spur on the moment thing. But we have seen evidence of people driving to cities that don't live in that city. They have weapons in the cars, they have crowbars in the cars, they have gasoline cans and gasoline bottles and kerosene bottles to make Molotov cocktails, to either set fires or throw at the cops. We've seen cops, I think Portland had, I saw a story, it was sent to me. Portland police showed what was been throwing them, canned goods, rocks, bottles, all concrete blocks and pieces. This is an organized attack, not only on the police but on businesses. Because, and then I think it might have been Al Sharp, I can't remember, said that you should leave the black-owned businesses alone, but implied that it was all right to loot the non-black-owned businesses and set them on fire, which is despicable. And then Maxine Waters, with their ridiculous assertion, the reason people are looting is because they take payday loans out. And they charge up to 3,000%, and I've changed that in California. But they're burning down stores because they get a payday loan. Now, what does an auto parts, AutoZone, or O'Reilly Auto Parts, or Walgreens, or CVS, or a shoe store, or a clothing store that's looted and burned have to do with the payday loan is beyond me. Maxine Waters is a nut. So, and I think rioting should get a minimum of 5 years in prison with no parole. You get convicted of rioting and inciting a riot, you should get 25 years. Well, the iPhones they're stealing were demo phones. You can't use them. They're blocked, and they're sending out a signal to Apple, help, I'm stolen, help, I'm stolen, help, I'm stolen. So they're stupid, If I were to steal in an Apple store, I'd grab me a Mac. Because they're not, I don't think they're protected from theft. And I know how to switch out my motherboard. So, but I'm not going to do it. But as an example, I wouldn't steal an iPhone. Those are demo phones. They're like having a dumb phone sitting there. They don't do anything. You can play with the screen, but you can't make a phone call on them. So, but they have arrested looters in LA and elsewhere that came from out of the area to loot. And they were all prepared for everything. Yeah, I think it's Antifa, and I think it's funded by Soros. It may well be funded by Hillary Clinton. It's probably funded by leftist groups and probably non-profit organizations, and for all we know, terrorist organizations. Oh, my head's starting to hurt. So, but, and I will say one about the spoofer. The spoofer, for all of some of the videos she did early on, is a nice and caring person and is not a racist. I don't know. I think there's enough people right now pissed off about, I didn't get my stimulus check. And where's the next stimulus check that may not vote for Trump? And of course, anybody on the left is not going to vote, or the ultra left. The Biden supporters are not going to vote for Trump unless they weigh. Let's see. I got Trump over here. Everybody says lies and is a racist, and yet there's absolutely no proof he's a racist. Because a lot of things like Charlotte were taken out of context. What he said about some people, this are decent people, and then he immediately after that condemned the white supremacist, including who tried to run over or actually may have hit black protesters, which was despicable. They lie about Trump a lot. The fake news media lies about Trump, and the leftist protesters and people, they hear all this stuff, and it's 99.9% BS. So, But you have Biden, who's probably senile, and you have Trump. So what choice you? I would prefer to have Trump because the man has done a lot of stuff for people. He has put enterprise zones in the black community, given tax breaks and all that. I don't like that every time a Republican gets in, they give these huge tax breaks to mega corporations. And if I were the president, all these companies that took the PPP money would be forced to give it back, and we would charge them a 400% penalty because they weren't supposed to get it. And small businesses are being denied by the SBA. They were supposed to get $10,000 grants. They got cut down to $1,000, even though the law says $10,000. I would fire the SBA commissioner or whatever the hell it is, small business administrator. Yeah, I would fire him and put someone else in his place and give all these businesses the money they need. Bernie Sanders has been talking, but I haven't been paying attention. I don't pay attention to crazy Bernie. So I wish Kathy would stop swearing. I keep telling her, watch your language, and she insists on swearing. And that demonetizes my video. It makes me really mad. She doesn't have it. There's no governor in Kathy's mouth. Yeah, they may give 400. That's what Get Kevin said. That's what other people have said. But no extra stimulus checks for the rest of the people who really, really need it. I mean, look, we spent a lot of the stimulus money on that stupid car, and we could really use another $1,200. If I got $1,200, I would spend 200 of it on cat food for the kitties. I would repair my other iPad so I have a backup iPad, and it's not hoarding to have two iPads, and get the device for the next car, and the rest would stay in the bank toward my getting a second car. So we don't go through this again. I'm getting tired of a car breaks down or we get hit or it won't work, and then we spend 2 years saving up for another car. We're both running out of time. And I'm 4 years older than Kathy. I don't know how much longer I can be dragging stuff in the bus. I went back to plug in the alien light, and my shoulder didn't like it, my moving my arm wrong. And when I lift something heavy with this arm, because the rotator cuff is torn, and will not get fixed because they want me to go to physical therapy, which doesn't do a damn but good. It needs surgery. I can't carry stuff. So thank you, Spoofer. And Harley, yes, Harley the cat. Oh, I love the little Harley cat thing. Thank you. Yeah, that's what everybody should be doing. Donating this channel so we can get a car. You want to see us live on the car, in the car, you donate. Includes you, Christopher, and anybody else who's in on Carlo Rizzo, anybody. I'm not George Soros. And if I had an unlimited amount of money, if I had the billions of Soros, everybody in this channel would get $1,000 check. So, everybody in this channel would get $1,000 from me if I had billions. Everybody my subscribe. Now new figure 2,651 subscribers. Every subscriber would get a check from George Senda Charitable Trust or whatever it would be if I had billions. So but after doing videos for 9 years, I feel I should get financial assistance. We need a car badly. It's going to be summer. We're going to have 100-degree days. And right now with the what do they call it? Kevin keeps calling it something funny, and I can't remember what he calls it. With this going on, no. Bardell is blocked, so he is not. Anybody named Bardell or associated with Bardell, the trolls do not get a check. I'm talking about normal, non-troll subscribers. And Sound Investments, I would probably do investment videos if I had big money. Say what I think you should buy, what I think you should invest in, what I think you should sell. So, well, I need to get ready to go feed the animals. It is 4 minutes to 6, and I've been on this thing on this thing for over an hour, and my voice is going. So I'm very disappointed that people do not donate to this channel, and it leads me to not want to do live videos anymore. And this latest thing with publishing Kathy's phone number has got me furious. So, and her address. So you know, I'll tell you one thing: if I ever hit the lotto, Belgab and LGAB will be removed from the internet. I will pay every dime I can to take MB to court and put a stop to the 7 years of harassment from that evil website. And then get all the attack videos, the spoofer, accepted, removed from YouTube, because this particular attorney will do it. That's all they do is go after trolls. If everybody donated about $11,000, Belgab would be gone in months. It would never return because it would be part of the court stipulation that the owner of Belgab and LGAB would not be allowed to use the internet for 10 years. They would not be allowed to use a computer. I'd insist on it. Because harassing someone online is a violation of federal law. It goes back to the days of the postal telegraph. You're not allowed to use the wires to harass, annoy. There's language in the federal statutes. They don't realize this because they think that I don't have any money. If I had money, I would have power. And money is power in this country. So I've looked the statute up. It exists. And it's part of what the postal inspector would do and federal attorneys. But you can file a civil suit and get it stopped, get them taken down. They've taken down escort sites for supposed child trafficking, and Belgab and LGAB could be taken down. They think they're immune because they don't have the money. God help them if I ever have the money. And then I would go after the guy in Reno and other people. But not the spoofer, because her videos annoyed me at first, but she is a decent person. And she loves her kitties, and Bootsy, the grumpy one. And I would give her money because she needs money too. And they shorted her in a stimulus check, so she would get a check from me. They ripped her off, man. They're supposed to get $1,200. She got $850. What the hell is that? And I'll tell you one thing, I would go meet with Trump, and I'd go meet McConnell. I'd meet McCarthy if I won the lotto for $350 million. Donate to the Republican Party and say, hey guys, it's time for a stimulus check, or I'm going to start donating my money to Democrats. And how would you like to be out of office and the Democrats control the Senate and they impeach and convict President Trump? Do you really want that for a lousy $1,200 or $2,000 a month? It's never going to happen. And I have a gut feeling that the $1,200 is never going to happen either. So with that in mind, I'm going to go. For one thing, I have to attend to a personal thing. So have a good evening. Stay wet, warm, dry, or cool as the case may be. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. Stay cool and dry. And stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow from Kathy's live. Her shirt is in, her present, and you get to see her wear it. Yeah, your eyes are getting heavy. And you will curl up under Sheba's blanket and she will meow at you severely because it's and in the cat grass. Bye, Sheba. Bye, Muffy. Bye, Lisa. We love you. Bye, people. Lisa and Grandpa Kitty. Grandpa Kitty is wonderful. I love her little cat thing. Bye.